Hey, welcome. Enjoying your blended family.
What's up? What's up?
All the B-fams out there, holla. We love you, and we're glad you're here. It's going to be a fun day in the blended family world.
Yes, today is a fun Friday episode, and it's always interesting to see how is Randall going to start. Sometimes it's so different, sometimes it's the same.
I went business casual today. Business casual, kind of like a what do you call it? A mullet party in the business in the front, party in the back. Yeah, so I've got my business, but the party, with the
Why did you feel it necessary to bring up your outfit today?
Well, because it kind of falls suit into what we're doing today, and we're talking about icebreaker games and how you can break the ice. And sometimes you got to let your hair down a little bit. Sometimes we can just be so serious, but there are ways that we can break that in our family. Because sometimes, I don't know about you, I don't know if any of your kids ever run around with an attitude.
Never.
Probably not. Probably not in your family. That was probably only specific to our family. And
how many times do you or your spouse run around with an attitude?
Well, that is probably a little bit more common as well.
Yes.
That we run into that too. Not that we ever had any of those issues. I mean, because we're just perfect.
Of course.
We never had any issues like that. No, not at all. But it's one of those that I think we all deal with this stuff in any family. We're talking specifically step families, aka blended families. That's who we are. And we can just have those added challenges. Like you take your normal family stuff, then you can add some stuff onto that. That's kind of what we have. But there are some icebreakers. That's the beautiful thing about icebreaker games. They help break that down and help you connect more.
Yes. And if you're hearing this, I love giving disclaimers, because if you're hearing this and you're saying, I hate icebreakers. The thing is, almost everybody, unless you're abnormal like me, we hate icebreakers. We hate the idea of doing the icebreaker. But once we start, it's so much fun. We make connections. If you ever have to do this, like for work stuff, I know in teaching world, we had to do it all the time. At the beginning of the year when you're in school, I remember it was always like a popular thing, and nobody really wants to do it, but it's those moments that establish those connections. Those are the coworkers that you remember because you had this moment with them during an icebreaker game. So it is totally worth the listen today, because we're going to share with you 5 different icebreaker games that you can do with your family that's going to break down the walls and begin to make these connections. And then we're going to get more into this in a second, but these games actually have a deeper meaning and a deeper purpose in them.
No matter where you're at in your step family journey, these are great. These will work. Mm-hmm. So y'all stay tuned. This is going to be an ice-breaking time. Ice-breaking time. Ice-breaking. Are you ready to break some ice?
I am ready to break some ice. More than breaking ice, I'm ready to share some ideas with you guys so that you can begin to break the ice. Or picture it like these walls that are built up in your step family, and you're like, I just can't get through to them, or I just can't connect with them, or my husband does not connect with my biological child, and I just don't know how to connect to my stepchild.
My kids don't come out of their room. It's always a battle trying to get them to do anything. They don't respect me.
Or they're always on their devices.
Yeah,
there's so many things when it comes to just parenting in general, but then you're adding, like Randall said earlier, you're adding those step family issues on top of that. And when we do things like this, and again, we have to plan for it. We have to decide, okay, we're going to do this today, even if we think this might be uncomfortable or we're tired because we've just worked a full 8-hour day and now adding more on top of this, but it's these moments that are more important than all the extra stuff that we add in our family. It's these moments that we're connecting with our family inside our own home and our own four walls that are going to begin to break down those walls.
A lot of issues that we have in blended families is because we don't spend enough time together. And I know that kind of sounds weird, but the thing is if we're not being intentional in creating relationships and building relationships, like any friendship, right? It takes time and it takes spending time together. And you can actually live in a house with people and still be strangers. And we see that so much in our family dynamics, especially with technology and we're all on devices and we got TV like never before that really pull us away from each other, really spending time together. And then we wonder why we don't connect or why we continue having issues and no one can see each other eye to eye and we continue having issues like that. But these things are here to help break that down. And kind of as you were saying earlier, that icebreaker games are one of those that most of us hate. Whenever you say icebreaker game, normally we turtle and shell. But whenever we do them, we have a lot of fun doing them. Normally at the end, we're laughing and we're connecting. We big into this, but even we were 14 years into our blended family. And we had created these because we knew how powerful they were. So these 5 games that we're fixing to share with you, we had taken one of them and it was late one night. We had already kind of come together. We had ate a meal and everything. And then it was like, well, we want to try this game out and see how well it goes. But we were all tired. We didn't want to play. Except for Scarlett.
I was going to say we, meaning you and the rest
of
the family.
Scarlett is always the cheerleader. She is always the one with the most energy. And we always need one of those in our family, right? Because if not, we'd all be lethargic, just dead on the couch. But that's kind of where me and the kids were. We were all like, oh, I don't want to do anything. And it's like, well, let's play this game. We were kind of like that.
So then I started throwing a pity party.
She threw a pity party and it's like, fine, we'll all play the games.
I'll just get my phone out too and I'll just scroll social media with the rest of you, which is something I normally do. I was just trying to be different.
You don't have any of these issues in your family, I'm sure. No. But so we decided, okay, well, let's get up and let's try this out. Let's see what it is. And we turned on the light, and I'm telling you...
We turned on the light like we were sitting in the dark.
Well, we were. It was dark. It was evening, and we just had the lamps on, not the big light. not the big living room light. Just, So we turn on the big light. And we sit there, and we start playing this game. And I think it's the last one that we're going to share with you. And by the end of it, we were all just running around in the living room back and forth to these different things. And we were laughing. We were having fun. Every one of our kids, and our kids are, they're early adults now, late teenagers to early adults, the ones that you really have to struggle with sometimes getting them to kind of participate. Yeah. And they were all in. Like this was fun. And like Scarlett was saying, these games are intentional though. We're going to share kind of that. And because not all games are great for blended families, because games can be really competitive and they can have a lot of that competition that add to division that may already be there. And so we kind of have to be careful of that. We don't want to play games that really allow things to team up and where we're really getting ugly and super competitive with each other. We want to be cautious of that.
We don't want things that are going to cause more division. We want things where you can see some commonality. And that's where these games, because you could go to Pinterest and you could probably type in any of these games that we're going to tell you, and it's going to give you, like, if you just type in icebreaker games, it's going to give you all kinds of ideas. So for one, we're just narrowing it down for you so that you don't have to go do the search. We're telling you what they are, and we even have it like printed, like we're on a PDF, so that you can print it out if you would like to. If you're like, oh, give me that, I want that. We made that available for you. But we pick things very specific so that as you're playing, it's not just the fun. That's the main idea, is that you're having the fun, you're laughing, you're playing this game together. But they have this little hidden thing underlying, which is you are learning more about your family members. You're learning more about your stepchildren or even your spouse and even your biological kids. We're always learning and growing new things. These new connections with them as your kids are learning and growing, right? And so the questions in here, some of them completely silly and fun, and then other ones are created so that you are able to really pull out some of these moments. And we'll talk more deeper on each of those games and how you can do that here in just a minute.
Yeah, because we're all about common interest. If you find a common interest, you find some common ground between you and your kids, between you and your bonus kids, between you and your spouse, the more of those you can find, the more ends you have, the more ways that you can connect. You may be that step bonus parent, right, that's sitting there saying, I don't know how to connect with my step kid. We don't connect. We don't have anything in common. I don't know how to talk to them. I don't know how to, be in their company. We don't have a lot to say. These are ways to help you find things that y'all have. And as parents, we're looking for those. We're taking these games and we're like, oh, you like that? Okay. And we're taking mental notes. And, maybe you're going and writing it down later saying, okay, if I have nothing to talk about, let me talk about this. And now we're finding things that we can talk about, right? We're coming on common ground. And whenever we're doing that, that opens the door to relationships. That opens the door to building something special, building connections that we're all looking for. So that's why these games are great. They're amazing. We really can't say enough about them. But we got 5 of them. So let's go ahead and share the first one, the number 1. And these are in no order of hierarchy. So really all of them are special. All of them are fun. So you can take any one of them. 1 is as much as number 5. So it's kind of like that. But we'll start with 1.
So do you want me to share it now, or do we want to share it when we come back after a break?
Well, that's a tough one. What do y'all think? You're listening to this. You want us to go ahead and share now or later? Now or later? Would you rather share it now or later? If that wasn't a big enough hint, but we will share that with you in just a minute. Y'all stay tuned. It's time to have some more blended family fun. Yeah, are you ready?
What was that?
I've been really working on this song. What do you think?
Sure. It's great, babe.
Well, it goes along with how to enjoy your blended family. The 5 dates to discover fun in your step family, the greatest thing since sliced bread for blended families.
Okay, I get it now. I feel your excitement. Well, why don't you tell them about it instead of singing it to them?
Wow, okay, shut me down. Why don't you? All right, let me try. When you have more fun together, you see less blended family drama. But we can get so caught up in life and problems that we miss out on really enjoying our family. So we'll walk you through 5 dates where you'll discover more fun your family loves and have a great plan to keep it going. How's that?
Pretty good. Short and sweet. I know that got them way more excited about all the fun possibilities they can experience with their family than your song did.
What? Seriously?
Well, you could have also told them that it not only creates more fun in their whole family doing this, but it also adds more fun in their marriage and gives them new ways to connect with their kids individually. It's also great for building that step-parent relationship. You could have said all that too.
I don't think you really appreciated all the work that I put in on that song.
Anyways, How to Enjoy Your Blended Family, 5 Dates to Discover Fun in Your Step Family is available for you today. Discover more fun and you'll see less problems. The link to get started is in the show notes of this episode.
Have more fun with your blended family and go on these 5 dates today. You'll be so glad you did. Yeah, yeah.
Really? You had to go there again. Let's get back to this episode. We're back at it. We're ready to share with you these 5 different games. And if you didn't figure it out already...
Would you rather me do it? Would you rather do it, or would you rather I do it?
Randall is giving you a nice little clue. I would rather do it. So,
of course you would.
Game number 1 is Would You Rather. Now, this game has been around from the beginning of time. Now, I don't know if it's been... I know it's been in, like, youth group...
I'm telling you, kids still do this today. And this is kind of the cool thing about this, is still relative, that, you know, your kids at any age, they still have played this game, they know this game, and they can have fun with it. So this is a great way to connect.
When I was in, like, elementary school, there was a show called Pete and Pete, and if you've heard of it, then you know. If you don't, then it was on Nickelodeon. You're like, what the heck are you talking about? But that's where I was first introduced to Would You Rather, and it was like, would you rather have your butt on your face or your face on your butt? And it's like, those are horrible options.
C. What is C?
But it still goes around today. I mean, they even have, like, I think a board game for Would You Rather now. Yeah. But in the youth group, they have, like, YouTube things where you can watch it and you choose one. But in this game, for your family, we have these written out. If you want these, or again, you can go search for yourself, or you can just come up with the most random stuff. But you want to make it a little bit easier where you can see who's voting on what. So you can do it like one of 2 ways. You can have, like, you're all in the living room sitting around, or sitting around the kitchen table, and you have to have 2 different ways to vote. So if you would rather choice number 1, then you stand up. If you would rather choice number 2, then you sit down. Or choice number 1, you put your hands on your head. Choice number 2, you keep your hands down. Something, or you go on this side of the room, or you go on this side of the room if you have kids that like to move a lot. I know we deal with a lot of families that say they have kids with ADHD. We have that in our family as well. So that movement is very important. So this may be a great time and a great way to have, like, okay, if you're picking 1, you stand on this side of the living room. If you're picking 2, you go to this side. Or if you're outside, anyways, you get the point. You separate 2 different ways. And then you have your person that's reading the Would You Rathers. So just looking here.
And even the person that is reading participates. That way you're all kind of seeing each other. And like we said, this is one that just kind of helps add a little bit more. You're noticing, okay, well, they like that rather than that. And, you know, and all of these things, if you'll plan it, right? Plan it ahead. Maybe look the month as the month starts and say, okay, we're going to do a family game night on this Friday. Okay, put that on the calendar. Hey, family, let's do a family game night or something like that. And that's when you bust these out.
Yes, and this one's a little bit more silly than, like, the stuff that you're going to actually be gathering some data, but maybe.
This is more of a fun laugh.
Yes, because it's like, would you rather have a pig nose or a monkey face?
Ooh, I don't know. Pig nose or a monkey face? I would probably want a monkey face.
See, I would think a pig nose much more normal. No, but monkeys are so cute.
They are. Yeah.
Okay, would you rather drink all of your food from a baby bottle or wear visible diapers for the rest of your life?
I don't know, because I think the visible diapers, you can make a trend out of that. And you could really start decking them out. You could color them. You could tag them and everything, maybe. Yeah.
I would go with the baby food. No, you don't have to eat baby food. It's just like you blend up your ribs.
But all of your stuff, like all the time, no. I love food too much. So I can't imagine drinking a steak. No. Give me the diaper. So, I mean,
those you are get the kind of questions.
You get the point right there.
Yes.
But yeah, there's a whole list of these. And kind of at the end of this, like we said, we do have this. We won't keep saying that. But we have all of these in one format for you. It's free. But that way you can get this and you can use that in your family.
Yeah, so that's just one. I just picked things that were just funny, silly, goofy stuff for a Would You Rather game with your kids.
And
even as an adult, it's just fun to pick of the 2 choices.
It really is.
They're usually both choices that nobody wants to do, but you have to pick the lesser of the two evils there.
So great game. This is fun. This will get everybody laughing together, right? And that's the point, is bringing everyone together. Even if you have teenagers, they love to rebel and they'll cross their arms whenever you say, let's family night, and you start doing these, they're going to buy in. So that's the power of this.
Yes. So now,
Game number two.
Game number 2 is name your favorite. Now, this is one that you do want to print this off or write this down, because I'm going to run down the list here just so that you have it. But it's something that you're going to keep, that you can keep as a collection, so that you have an idea of what your kids and your spouse's favorite things are. This is something that you don't want to just give them a sheet of paper and everybody go write their thing down. You want to sit together in a group. You're sitting around the dinner table, or you're sitting around in the living room, sitting around outside, and you ask these questions and let everybody go around with the one starting out and let everybody answer. And then you go into the second one and so forth. And you don't want to rush it. And it's just one of those things when you have to pick your favorite something. It's like, ooh.
What would it be?
And take your time. It's okay. You don't rush it. These are times to just really get to know each other. And again, you're going to see those common things when it comes to these things. And then on special occasions, or maybe your stepchild had a rough day, or your biological kid or your spouse, whatever, they had a rough day, or you're trying to plan a day out with them, go look at this list and be like, oh, yeah.
I can get them this. I can do
I
that.
remember, they said their favorite drink is this. Let me, before I pick them up from school, let me run by Sonic or wherever you like to get your drinks, and let me grab them one and just have it waiting, a just because. I mean, who doesn't love a just because, right?
I know. Yeah.
You didn't have to earn it. You didn't do anything for it. Just a quick side note. One time, my youngest was being a little stinker. And this is, like last year. She's 19. So her and I just weren't seeing eye to eye. She wasn't mad at me, but I was the victim that her frustration was being taken out on. And I was going to pick her up from somewhere, and I drove through Starbucks. And for me, my kids know, I don't spend a lot of money on stuff. I don't really go through and, buy Starbucks on a regular basis. It's just not something that I spend money on. But I went through and I got her favorite drink, and I showed up to her house to pick her up and gave her this drink. And she was just like, oh my gosh, thank you. So appreciative to have this drink. And it's just the little things like that, the just because moments, even when they don't deserve it, is an even better time to make these happen.
Oh, yeah. So read a couple. Just pick.
Well, I wanted to read I'm going to run through them really fast.
Okay, really fast.
I'm going to run through just in case people need this list. So what's your favorite candy, favorite color, animal, song, movie, toy, car, fruit,
a toy car,
vegetable, drink, cartoon, room in the house, season, sport, time of day, and school subject.
So that's a lot of things right there. And like we said, you're going through each one of those. Spend time the candy. You're like, okay, what's your favorite candy? And maybe go around the room, and one might say Snickers. What? Snickers? Why? Why do you like Snickers? Maybe not saying it in that tone, but really? Snickers? Oh, what? What's cool about Snickers? Why do you like Snickers? And let them tell you, and they may describe it. I just love peanuts with chocolate. It's just an amazing combination. So you're getting their heart behind why they like that. And everyone loves sharing why they like things. And this just it really is. It's a great thing that kind of brings you all together and gets you talking.
They may share their favorite song or their favorite movie, and they had a hard day. So you put their favorite song on in the car when you pick them up, or when you're headed somewhere, just for a nice little sing-along session, or have them plan a movie night around their favorite movie. So you have all of these little things here.
So name your favorite. That was game number 2. That's a fun one. So game number 3.
I love game number 3. We probably say that for each of them, but
they all hold special places in our hearts.
Yes, it's the family chain. Now, you've probably done this in your elementary days where you take the paper and they're cut out in little rectangles and then you hook them to the other pieces of paper. A lot of times you do this when you're counting down the days for something, and like maybe you're counting down Christmas and you take one off each time. Well, this is a version of this game. So again, you can use what we have. It already says I am good at, or you can just cut strips of paper and you write I am good at, or just go straight into what the purpose is. And here you're going to have each family member share 3 things that they are good at. We want to highlight those strengths because we were all created with unique, special things about us that we are good at, and we are all created with our weaknesses. And sometimes as parents, we can hone in on those weaknesses and try to make those better instead of focusing on the things that we are good at or our kids are good at and really uplifting those.
Yeah, that is such a crucial thing that we can do in any blended family is highlight strengths. We don't spend enough time encouraging those. And as parents, if we can get to a point to where we're digging those out of our kids and helping them see that and recognize that, how much of an identity will they have? They'll start seeing that. And whenever we can help, point out their God-given talents, point out what God has placed inside of them, they're going to start now looking at their identity into Jesus and looking at their identity in the good things instead of looking in their identity on TV or on social media. And we have seen such a rampant negative effect on students with them struggling with identity, worse than we have seen in the previous years, because social media highlights, they highlight this false expectation or false conception of what we should be or what we're not. And our kids, even at younger ages now, are really struggling with this. And that's where we're seeing all the cutting, we're seeing the abuse, we're seeing all different types of things. And really, as parents, if we can focus more on this and help pull out and highlight the good things in our kids, man, we're setting them up for a beautiful future. We want them to recognize it. We want to say it so much that they're like, I know it. This is me. And what a great thing.
Yeah. And if you're playing this game and your kids are like, I can't think of anything, or maybe you can't even think of something for yourself, get the family involved. You know the things that they're good at, or maybe even have their other siblings tell them, well, you're really good at riding your bike, or you're really good at writing stories or telling stories. So come up, we pick just 3 things, because say you have a family of 6 and you're each picking 3 things, and you've got this chain of 6 times 3 is 18 of 18 things where your family is being linked together by their strengths. Hang this up somewhere, highlight these things. And really the beauty, when you really look at the symbolism here of how each one of your family members are created uniquely, and they have these strengths that they are offering to your family. And now you're connected using these strengths, and your family is seeing that. Man, it's so powerful.
It is. It really is powerful. And that, what a fun way to sit around, turn off the TV one night and say, hey, you don't have to even give your kids a heads up, but hey, we're just going to hang out tonight. And then you pass out these and you're like, okay, we're going to talk about our strengths. Like, what are you good at? And, what are 3 things or 5 things or 10 things that you're good at? And let's write those down. We're going to build this big chain and just give them the vision. They'll be like, my strengths? Sweet. I like talking about myself.
Yeah, and maybe each kid could, even if you have like construction paper or whatever, each kid or each person in the family has a different color that represents them. So make this your own. Like Randall said, do 5, 10. If your kids are those that really recognize those things for themselves and they're like, I'm way good at way more than 3 things, then do that. Highlight those things, encourage them in this way, and really begin to build them up.
And I want to stress again, this is not just for the kids, parents, you got to join in. Okay, so yeah, I know it can be a little scary. It's easy to talk about our strengths, but you got to put yours down too.
Yes.
And so you're doing this as a family. It's one thing that if we're just trying to do a game and get them to do it, but it's another thing when we're participating and we're being a part of it.
And it'll melt your heart when you ask your kids, when you can't think of what you're good at, and you ask your kids, what do you think I'm good at? And they say things like cooking me dinner or giving me hugs. It's just like, oh,
yeah, you're like,
okay, let me do more of that.
Yeah.
So it's really encouraging. All right, so game number 4 is a version of bingo. It's find someone who bingo.
Bingo. Fun fact, I won a small squishy football playing bingo when I was probably like 11, 12 years old, and is a highlight of my life.
That is a core memory that has stuck with him from when he was a kid.
It really has, because I don't win things a lot when I play games, and I was like I was the fun guy then. Like everybody wanted to throw the football with me. I was the cool kid at camp.
Oh, because you got the football.
I got the football. So there it is. That's the power of bingo.
Well, and this isn't your normal bingo like B7, and then you have to. This is different. This one you will have to go print this off to be able to play, or they have different versions like this, but I tried to pick things that I knew would be similarities in your family, these common interests. So the way you want to play this bingo game, though, because it would be boring if you just all sat there and looked at this paper and people wrote their name on it. It has a 5x5, what do you call that?
5x5 square.
A 5x5 square. So all of the different 25
squares in a square
that have these different things that your family could have in common. Something that may be like a descriptor of who they are or what they like type thing. Now, if you all sat at the table and you did this, it would be you're just writing in the things that pertain to you. Like it says someone that has your same hair color, or someone that loves dogs, or someone who hates bugs or enjoys skating or skateboarding. So the person that loves that thing will write their name in there. Now, to make this game more fun, though, you're going to each get your paper. You're going to spread out amongst the house, and then you're going to say go. And then you've got to go find people and then have them look on here and write down some of these things. You either want to try to get bingo, or you try to get blackout and fill them all out and see who has it. But it's not really a race, even though it is a game. You want to make sure people are taking time and filling out the things that pertain to them. It may get a little chaotic, but that's part of the fun.
So that is bingo.
And then at the end of it, you may see like, oh, I love reading, you love reading. Oh, and you love reading too. So now next time you're planning an activity for your family, you guys that love reading, let's go just have some time at the library and get a coffee or whatever you have to drink and find a spot and read some books together.
Yeah, these are definitely things you don't throw away. You save those, and you and your spouse can look at them and really just find the commonalities, right? Find those common interests, even if it's within the kids, and then y'all kind of help set some of those times up to where they can enjoy doing those things together. So yeah, fun game. So that's number 4. Last one, number 5.
Number 5, this is the game that Randall was talking about earlier the night that I was being pouty because nobody wanted to play with me, and it just took one of our kids to be like, come on guys, let's just do it. And they got up, turn the lights on like Randall said, and we started playing this game. This is the this or that. You've probably seen this on social media where you have these 2 choices. It's like the would you rather, but without the gross stuff. And it's these 2 choices, and usually both of them are good things, and you're having to pick, or it's just personality things you favor. And the first one, there's 3 different versions of this game that we have, and the first one has like just your basics. So you're finding some common things that are basic in your family. And then there's a travel edition, which we found very insightful when we played that with the kids.
That was fun.
And then there's a food version of
Who
it
doesn't
that you can
like
play
food
as well. So, and this is a good way to see, like, when you're planning those next family meal nights, okay, we all enjoy pizza, or we all like cake versus making a pie for your dessert, those kind of things, fruits versus vegetables. But you play this game sort of similar to the Would You Rather. We played it where you're dividing up in the room, and you have a middle ground which some of our kids wanted to vote in the middle. We're like, no, pick a side.
Yeah, you got to pick one side or the other. And when you say it, yeah, you're going to one side or the other.
Yeah,
so.
or this or that. Do you like to eat or would you rather sleep? Which one? This or that? So everybody that would pick eating, they go to one side of the room. Everyone that would rather sleep, they go to the other side of the room. Yeah. Do you like sports or do you like music? So they pick and you begin to see like, oh, we're a family that really loves music, or we're a family that, really likes sports. Maybe you're all on the music side, but y'all spend most of your afternoons at sports practice. And you're like, what are we doing here? Nobody even actually likes sports.
So it is really one of those things that, it's a fun game. Or, like I said, when we were doing it, we were running around from one side to the other and having a blast. We were laughing, but we were paying kind of attention to certain things that we all liked, or the majority of us liked as a family, and just taking mental notes, and sitting there saying, okay, well, we should be doing more of this then, or we're not doing enough of that, or why are we doing that when no one likes that? We should be doing this. And so it just helps you, all 5 of these games help just bring commonalities while you're having a lot of fun together. This is something that really is great. You can turn off the TV, plan a family night, and just say, hey, you know what? We love tagging this on to like after dinner or something. Maybe y'all come eat dinner and then say, hey, okay, we got this game. Let's come in the living room and let's do this. And then you go, right? And these are 5 games right here. So that could be 5 different family nights that you could have, or you do multiple of them. I would suggest starting small and just doing one.
Yeah, just doing one.
Picking one and sitting there saying, okay, let's do this. Like we said, this or that. We have 3 different versions of that. So you're doing all 3 different of those in that night, because that one can go fairly quick.
It goes pretty quick. And everybody loves, when you're on social media and they have those this or that's, you always are clicking on them. Because it's just something where you're getting to share what you like. And everybody likes to share things that they like.
So there it is, icebreaker games. There is power behind it. That's why they call them icebreaker games. And in families, there can be so much tension and so much strife that we need things like this to help break the walls. I'm telling you, I remember being just really upset with one of our kids one time. I was just, some of the choices, some of the things that they were doing and choosing at that time. And sometimes that's all you can see. You don't see anything else. But we sat at the table one night and we'd eaten, and then we just played a random game that we had, and it's like it all went away. It's like that wasn't even important anymore, right? Because these things, they allow us to connect heart to heart. And that's what we're wanting to do as a family. And whenever we can do more of that, we see less of the other stuff isn't as big of a problem as sometimes it is. And this just helps us to connect more. That way we see more fun and we see less problems. So good stuff.
Yes, and if you are a parent of a preteen and a teenager, or those young adults, and you think they don't want to have anything to do with me, I would love to challenge you on that, to ask them, invite them, get them involved, because at the heart, when the students that we've dealt with, our own kids personally, at the heart is they just want to feel like they are loved, that they belong, that they are seen, that somebody wants them around. And so sometimes they put up these walls and they close themselves off because they already feel rejected. So they begin to reject others before it can happen to them. But when you pull them out, you pull them into these moments, that's when it begins to break things down.
It really does. It will change your family in an amazing way. So here are 5 icebreaker games, 5 ideas that you can use. Like we said, we have them all in one PDF that you can download for free. You can get it right now. Just go to the show notes, click on that. It'll take you to where you plug in your email. That way we can send it to you, and boom, you've got it. Start planning it. Go have a lot of fun. And I'm telling you, it really will break some ice. I should have had like an app, but I can do it pretty good.
That is very good.
The ice breaking in the family. So there you go. Listen, we love you guys. Y'all have a fabulous Friday. We'll see you later.
Bye. Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has been a blessing and encouraged your family journey.
Make sure you stay connected with us and join our weekly Blended Family newsletter. We send an email out every Friday morning full of support and encouragement.
And when you join, we also want to give you a free gift. So go get yours today. The link is in the show notes below.
Have an amazing day. Remember to enjoy the journey with your blended family, and we'll see you on the next episode.